Now, live, KPSP Local 2's Eye on the Desert with Scott Hennessy.
Hello again and welcome to Eye on the Desert. It is great to have you with us here on the nightly show that celebrates life in the Coachella Valley. We're going to take a walk on the darker side with the Palm Springs horror comic artist who tells us about his inspiration and how he ended up having one of his pieces entombed into a wall of the New York home of one of America's most legendary writers, Edgar Allan Poe. Recently, we met a Palm Springs artist who specializes in scary. One of his haunting images was recently chosen to adorn the walls of a museum that will honor the legacy of one of America's greatest writers. Wes Huffer's illustrations are like magnets. Some people are repelled by their graphic nature, and others are instantly drawn to them by a force even they don't fully understand. The artist recalls the best reaction his art received from a teenager at a recent convention.
And the son was about 17. He was flipping through the box of prints, and I was talking to the father about art and doing the painting, and then the son says, "Oh my God, it's like he's looking into my soul." I fell off the chair laughing. The dad falls over laughing, but that's the reaction I get. It's a very strong one, so yeah, that's definitely the kind of work I try to do.
Huffer's work is featured in various comic books, and he has published an anthology called Charnel House. He exhibits his work at conventions twice a month, and people often approach him wanting pieces commissioned just for them. That was the case with this piece that has garnered the artist the greatest honor of his career.
Basically, it's a raven, candles, liquor bottle, dark room with the light coming through the room, and the raven sitting on the windowsill. And from talking to the guy who commissioned it, that was just what came naturally.
You may recognize the raven as the name of a famous poem by Edgar Allan Poe. After Huffer created and sold the piece, he entered a snapshot of it into a contest on how Edgar Allan Poe inspires you. His piece was chosen to be entombed in the walls of Poe's home in New York.
For a horror artist, someone who's always loved Edgar Allan Poe and someone who tries to get the strongest reaction out of horror and terror and draw those emotions from the viewer, to be acknowledged in the same vein or name or anything of Edgar Allan Poe was amazing.
The person who purchased the painting donated it to the Historic House Trust of New York City, and in June the artist went to the final home of the great American writer and placed it in a kind of artistic time capsule. Huffer says reading Poe's work as a child planted the seeds of suspense and terror so evident in his work today.
Yeah, I always say that a character is most honest when they're terrified. A character who doesn't have time for chivalry, who doesn't have time for putting up a false facade, it's usually the character that's broken, the character who's downtrodden, the one who's terrified. That, to me, is when a character is most real, and my objective is to show the real kind of heart behind the characters and the stories that I tell.
The restoration of Edgar Allan Poe's New York home, now featuring a painting by local artist Michael Huffer, is expected to be completed in August. You can see more work from the artist on his website at weshuffer.com. Wanted to tell you as well, Wes Huffer, the artist we just profiled a while ago, he's on Facebook. You can get one of these possibly. He gives them away occasionally if you look him up on Facebook under Wes Huffer. That's our show for tonight. I'm Scott Hennessy. See you tomorrow.